Today we are with the COSAFA legends, Rhoda, Mulaudzi and Pinky Matjekane. Ladies, thank you so much. First of all, how have you survived the heat in the last couple of days?
So thank you so much for this opportunity. I think I came on Saturday. The weather was a bit chilled, it wasn't this hot. But for the past 3 days, we've seen Polokwane, the way is Polokwane. So the heat, yes, is there, but we're taking it in. We're in Africa, so we can't really complain about the heat.
Yeah.
I can't complain because I work in the heat, so it's something that I can say I'm used to, and I was born here, so I can't complain about it. And also, people, they're always complaining about Polokwane being hot. I've been to countries where you'll thank Limpopo or you'll thank Polokwane. I've been to a country where you are playing at 40 degrees Celsius, so I think I'm coping.
Yeah. Do you guys believe that maybe it has had any impact on the games that have played so far?
Absolutely. Okay.
Of course, I can say that, because if you can look all the teams that are playing, remember, it's for most of the teams here, it's still their pre-season. They're still starting, so you can see even the players when they're playing that it's affecting them, because most teams when they start, the intensity is high, but along the way it decreases because of, I believe, because of the sun. And
absolutely, because I think we've seen with Botswana as well, when they started the game, the intensity was too high, and then during the game, I think 30 minutes into the game, they kind of like dropped. So I think that the heat then come into play, and then how they sustain it, they have to get water breaks, and when they get a loophole, just go outside and ask for water breaking and be able to sustain them, because we don't know, we're sitting outside, so we don't know how they feel inside. So it's their responsibility as well to say, look, coach, I get that opportunity, let me get some water to just regroup and come back.
Let's talk about opening Group A. Obviously the host nation are there, Malawi, Angola, Lesotho. What have you guys made of that group so far? Obviously, it's been only one match day in that group. What have you guys made of that group?
Looking at the Lesotho and Angola game, as we were talking about the sun also, when we look at Lesotho, when they started, the intent was very high. And then I believe Angola at first, they were starting just to learn how Lesotho play, because most of the time they were looking for those counter attacks, playing behind Lesotho's defense. That's where they got most of their goals, scoring, bringing those cross, and then having their target striker just waiting for the ball to finish.
Yeah, no, I think especially like Group A, where we have Angola, which they're doing quite good. South Africa and Malawi as well. So I think the group is, I could say it's a tough group, considering that 2 teams from there, they already qualified for AFCON. So they're actually preparing for WAFCON. So this is the testament for them to really prepare the team for the WAFCON.
Yes, for the WAFCON, yes.
I think also because we saw with South Africa, some of their key players or senior players that were not in the matchday squad sitting on the bench. Do you feel that maybe perhaps the coaches are also playing their cards close to their chests? Obviously, yes, they're looking for other players to be able to complement the seniors and everything. So far, yes, it's preparation, but you feel they're playing their cards close to their chest because of the big tournament.
Yeah, I also believe, yes, they're playing their cards close into their chest, because also it's also time to see new players. If you have players that if the coach have players that she believes she needs to consider or select them for WAFCON. So these are kind of tournament that the very same players, they need to raise their hand and to say, you know what, I'm also ready. I also want to go to WAFCON, because I believe with the senior players already we know, and it's just for them to get that game time. But with the ones that are now playing COSAFA, they are players that they need to match the standard of the senior players, and plus international players that they are still going to come for camp. So I think it's good for the coaches to play their card.
But I think that's something that we also spoke about in the room, that they have some of the regular players that are sitting at the bench, and they have the young players here. But what is the approach in terms of who you're gonna play go AFCON? Are you gonna play the players that are sitting on the bench, or are you gonna use the same players that are currently playing? If that's not the case, then you are I don't know, we are so confused because those are the kind of players that should be playing now to prepare so they can be used to, you know, everything in terms of the WAFCON and how they prepare and, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. In terms of match fitness, yes, we would love to see the senior players maybe coming playing. But also on the other side, we need to have players that, even if senior players are not there, they can still come in and make a difference because now they must get used to the experience of playing in competition like this. Because if you can look, most of those new players, they are playing in the Hollywood bed. So now you are bringing them here, you are challenging them that, hey, where we're going, it's worse than here. So they must get used to this because we can't worry more about the senior players. Maybe that's the assumption that I have. We can't worry more about the key players because we understand they know they have the experience. For them, it's just to, after maybe the tournament, let's get two maybe international friendlies or prepare against boys. Then from there, that's when you can just see if the team is ready.
I want to pose this to you, so because I've seen when you know there isn't a lot of preparations and you go to a big tournament like this, and you've already played like 2 games. Is that enough for you as a player, you know, to go and play at that such magnitude competition? Hence, you have only 2 games to prepare. In your experience, because you've played in the WAFCON.
In my experience, yes, it's not enough. But we are now sitting in an unfortunate event. Firstly, let's thank COSAFA for this kind of a tournament. Because if they didn't come through for us, I'm not sure what was going to happen. But that being said, now we are in this situation. You have players that, as a coach, you want to consider them for WAFCON. And then you still have key players, which you believe they understand and they know what's needed. Now, let's try to have these new ones to get used to the same type of tempo. Because when they go there, it's high intense. And maybe they're not used to that. And remember, we are in a pre-season. We are not in season. So the best way, let's just try to elevate these ones. So when they meet with the international and the experienced players, now at least we have a balance. Because if we can just say, okay, bring let's play the key players. Then when you get there, they're fatigued, they're tired, injuries are there. Now we don't have a plan B. So now you are moving, you are going there with players who are on the same level. Now you can balance the equation.
I want to ask you guys, after match day 1 in that group A, which we are talking about right now, after the match day, the tough groups, 3 former champions in that group, 2 WAFCON, the next match day 2, are you guys expecting that it's going to get a little bit intense now that everybody has played? Angola is leading now, South Africa is right behind them, and they also have a clean sheet. Match day 2 for those, like, do you feel that when they move on to match day 2, we're going to see a different kind of game in that group?
I think it's always, in most cases, like that. The first games are more like quiet, they're still trying to get on their 1 gear. But the second game, now they've gotten the grasp of the game, of the heat, of atmosphere, fans and everything. So I think we're expecting more intensity. You know, we're expecting to see, you know, even the excitement of this tournament. Fans are starting to come in. Most of them, they didn't know, but I'm not saying we're doing the job. We're doing the job. I mean, you've seen how the South African game was filled. So we're hoping that people will come in numbers, and the tempo of the games will be, you know, as high as we, you know, have seen in the first games.
Yeah, I feel both team of South Africa and Angola, they started well with the winning and having the 3 point. But in this type of kind of tournament, you also need to play. Yes, you're playing well, but you also need to score because you don't know what's going to happen at the end. So also, I think it's something that the group is very interesting. So we as she's saying, we expecting more fans, especially tomorrow with Banyana playing here. So it's something that I feel it's going to be interesting.
Let's go to Group B, the defending champions. The second goal that they scored, oh my goodness, that was a beautiful goal. Of the Zambian goal. And also they came in, 3 goals, could have been more. There were a couple of chances, you know, that they missed, but they got the job done. 3 goals, no conceding as well. They are also going to the WAFCON as well. What have you made, of Zambia? What have you made of Botswana and the other teams in Group B?
No, we with Zambia, we were watching them playing. They have a good team also, and most of the time they use their full backs to get cross for the strikers, and them scoring 3 goals. It also gives them that elevation to say we are leading the group, and also their next game they still have Zimbabwe, which they're also playing a beautiful football. They understand each other. So it's just going to be when Zambia meet Zimbabwe, it's just the same as Angola with South Africa. It's going to be an interesting football.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Piri, who's been on the tournament for a couple of years. She's making her mark. Even on that game, she made her mark. She was the player of the match. Yeah. She makes the other teams, feel horoteng. She's very intimidating. So I think, and Botswana, they always play in a low block. 5 of them at the back, so they are used to that, defending. But I was so impressed with Zambia. They always keep to what the game plan. Attack on the wing and then use their wings to cross the ball, and the finishing was also amazing. Yeah. So we're expecting to see more of that. Zambia winning, defending champions, and then I think it's going to be so difficult for other teams to actually when they encounter Zambia to beat them. But it's an interesting one to see.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask the importance of the senior players. We saw with Zimbabwe when the coach brought on Rutendo, like the kind of stability she brought in, and also getting a goal as well. Yes, most of the teams use this tournament for development purposes and everything, and obviously the WAFCON base for preparations. But for the other teams as well, when you bring in the experienced players, how much of a key role are they going to be playing in these teams? And even if we do look at Zimbabwe to say that Rutendo, who's also a former top goal scorer at this tournament, I think in 2017, how important are those kind of players in the teams?
I think with Rutendo, I remember 2017 in Zimbabwe, she was one of the lethal strikers that she scored. She was the top goal scorer. But I believe with players like her, they bring balance in the team. Because even when we're watching her playing, she doesn't do much. But she understands where she needs to be as a striker. The experience that she brings, it also motivates the younger ones that this is what we need to do. Because if you look, at halftime they were leading 1-0. But her coming in saying, no, 1-0 we're not safe. Anything can happen. This is football. We just need to score another goal for us to lead. So having player like her, it's good for the younger ones. Now you're introducing younger players where they already have experience. Now the younger ones, now they're coming in to understand, and just to, as I said, the experienced players, they bring balance in the team.
And then let's look at Group C. It's match day 1, Mozambique and Namibia. Mozambique have been coming. You see them even in the Champions League qualifiers, the teams that they sent to the COSAFA qualifiers. I think in 2023 they were able to get out of the group and get to a semi-final. What are you expecting in this group? Obviously with lesser teams, in that group. What are you expecting to see, especially match day 1?
I think we were speaking actually about Namibia and Mozambique. When they came to this competition, even their federation, football wasn't that as big as, especially in women's football. But now you see the difference. You see, how they've grown from then till now. So I'm expecting them to. I'm expecting to see, a more of a collaborating team. A team that plays together. A team that, we've come from point A. Now we're going to go to point C. And the young players are also playing there. So I'm expecting them to from now on, to carry on to the next level.
Yeah, I think I support what she's saying, because if you look with Mozambique, the last COSAFA that was in 2024 in Eastern Cape, they came 4th. And then last year we had a team from Mozambique, which was part of the team that were participating in the CAF qualifiers, COSAFA. They reached the semi-finals. So it says something about them. So because if you look back then, it was a national team that always we just beat them 6. But lately you can see they have a good structure. They are well organized at the back. They are well organized in the middle of the park. and also they have players that can score goals. So same as Namibia. With Namibia, it's one of the teams that I can say they are unfortunate, but you can see there's progress. Each and every COSAFA that they play, there's progress. But I believe one day when they reach the knockout stage, trust me,
we'll be talking a different story.
Yeah, we'll be talking a different story.
Yeah, so far we have not had a game that has not had goals. So heads on the block, today's game, your score predictions.
I'll give it a 3-0 to
Namibia.
Mozambique.
Okay, I'll say 2-1. Namibia being 2, Mozambique 1.
Okay.
Thank you, legends. And we hope maybe one of you, or you're proven wrong or you're proven right. So, and we will be having these things throughout the tournament, just before the match day starts, and then we will see what happens today. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the game.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.